Hello, I'm Catherine, and welcome to my hillside garden in northeast Pennsylvania, Zone 6. Today I'm going to plant out some seeds for pickles and for zucchini. And what I've done already is I've made up labels for each variety I'm going to plant and filled up the square pots. I do pickles and cucumbers or rather picklers, cucumbers, and squash in these pots versus the little cell pots. It's better to plant them out when they're a larger plant and they don't like to have their roots disturbed that much, so that's why I use the larger container. In these first pots I use the black gold seed starting mix, and then for the last 6 that I'm going to do, I'm using some of the Miracle-Gro Really Good compost. I purchased this last year and I really liked it. The only place I've been able to find it though is at Tractor Supply, and they just get a limited supply, and when it's gone, it's gone. It is a 1 liter or 1 cubic foot bag, and it was $4.99, so it is a little bit pricey, but I bought a couple to supplement in the garden, and then I'll keep 1 or 2 packages in my grow room for next spring so that I have it for when I'm planting things in the grow room. What I've done is I've just added some vermiculite to the mix, and basically it looks almost like the black gold. However, black gold seems to have perlite in it, whereas I use the vermiculite. So I'm going to fill each pot and I'm going to tamp it down just to be sure that it's nice and full. And you cannot plant cucumbers or zucchini out until it is past your frost date. And it's easy to find your frost date. You can go to any of the websites that you can Google for. Just check what is my last frost date, and most websites will ask for your zip code. You put your zip code in and they'll take it from there. Now I know that frost zones have changed in the past, I guess, 5 or 7 years, and actually we are in, according to some websites, we're in zone 6 or zone 6A. So they said that our last frost date is actually, I believe, April 15th. But I wouldn't go by that date for my area. I will wait until after the 27th. So your frost zone will also depend on how your particular area is. I just happen to know from keeping garden journals that my frost date can even run into the middle of May, but I'm sure to keep an eye on it, and if we do have any frost that comes, I have covers for any plants, any tender plants like tomatoes, peppers, squash, so that I could cover them up for the evening. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to plant is national picklers, and I do a lot of pickling cucumbers because we like refrigerator pickles. So, and what I've been doing, I've been using these little popsicle sticks. I've been cutting them in half. I got them, I think, at the dollar store or at the hobby store, and I think what I'm going to do from now on is not cut them in half. I don't know if you've noticed in some of my other videos, they get kind of waterlogged and then the markings on them don't show as well. So, but I'll use these up so that way they don't go to waste. So since these seeds from pine tree that I have are a little bit old, I'm actually going to put 3 seeds in each pot, and I'm going to go down probably to my first knuckle on my finger. And see, they're not very small seeds, but we're going to put 3 in each pot, and that way I could pick the nicest plant out of each one. Now, one thing with pickles and zucchini, or cucumbers and zucchini, if you've never grown them before, they're usually very abundant, so you don't need a whole lot of plants. And most of the ones that I've chosen as far as the zucchini or summer squash are container ones, so that way I could plant them right in the container. I have one seed left. And since these are older, I do not know what the germination rate will be. So all I've done is I've poked 3 holes in each, 1 seed in each, and then I'll cover them over. And as I said, I will most likely choose the nicest one and then cut the others off at the ground level so as not to disturb the roots. So let me finish up the cucumbers or the picklers, and I'll bring you back when I come to the zucchinis. Okay? So I've now finished putting seeds in each hole. As I said, 3 in each pot, and I've been very good about making my labels. So I'm just going to cover them up, and I put them about a ½ inch deep, which is about the first knuckle of my finger, because that's what it calls for on the package. Most oftentimes packages will tell you exactly how deep to put your seed, but just in case you lost your package, or maybe you shared with friends and weren't sure how deeply, they may not have marked it on the package. Generally they say 3 times the depth of the size of the seed. So if it's a very small seed, like a carrot, you won't want to plant it very deeply. Or if it's a larger seed, like a pea gets planted about 2 inches deep. So it's just some little guideline to help you out if you're not familiar with seed depths on things. And that way, when you start your own seeds, you'll have a greater success rate. Alright, now we have them all covered up at a very odd angle, but we covered them up. And when we're all done, what I will do is I will water them in. I will water from the bottom, and that's better for them than to water from the top. So now I'm going to plant some of the squash seeds, and we're going to put them in these 6 pots. So I'll bring you right back. Okay, the squash seeds are a bit bigger. This is Black Beauty zucchini, and the seeds look just like pumpkin seeds. So these seeds are 2 years old. I don't think I'm going to have a problem with them. So I'm only doing 2 pots of each of the squash, because as I said, you generally only need 1 of a zucchini plant because they're very good producers. So the back of the package tells me that I want it about 1 inch. So I'm just going to go down to about my 2nd knuckle on my finger, and then I'll take a seed. And is there a right way or a wrong way to plant one of these? It's a lot of opinions. But it kind of makes sense. If you plant it flat, maybe it'll get too moist and wet, and then it might mold quicker. So I generally put them pointed up with the pointier end towards the top. So I'll put that in there, and I'll pick another one. I'm going to do the same thing. It just seems like it would sprout better coming out of the top of the seed. And then we're just going to cover it over. I want to make sure this is in camera view. So just pat it down a little bit, cover it over. And I have my nice little markers in there, so I don't have to worry about forgetting what I've planted. I also have Cocozelle squash, that'll go the same depth. And then we have Fordhook zucchini, and that'll go the same depth. So I have the markers for those. Just turn the camera a little bit. And we'll do the Cocozelle squash. This one is a zucchini. It's an Italian variety, and it actually has stripes on it. They're really very good. These seeds are only 2 years old, so I'm just going to plant 2 pots of each of that. And these are container plants, so that's where they'll go. They won't go out in the garden. They'll go in some of the containers that I plant. And they do rather well in a larger pot. So that's that one, and then we have 2 of the Fordhook zucchini. I'm going to put their markers in. And these seeds, believe it or not, are a little bit smaller than the other ones. So I don't know which to plant. So I think I'm going to go with the larger ones on these. Will it make a difference? I don't really know. There we go. Those are from 2013. Maybe I should put 2 in each pot since they are a little bit older. We'll put 2 in there, and then we'll just cut off the best one as it comes through. Okay, so now we've done our planting of our zucchini and our cucumbers. These I will water in from the bottom, and then they will go down in the grow room. I've just been able to make some space down there at this time of the year. That becomes a commodity space underneath the grow lights. But what's really nice is while they're germinating, they don't necessarily need to be underneath the grow lights, so I have a little leeway with that. So now that I have these pots planted up with the cucumber picklers and the zucchini that will be growing, I'll water them from the bottom and take them down and put them in the grow room, and that's where they'll germinate at. And I've only just gotten an area available for them, but what's nice when they're beginning to germinate, when they're just going in, they don't necessarily need to be underneath a grow light. And the spring, sometimes grow light space is a good commodity that's hard to come by. So I've just been able to open up another spot under there, under the lights. So that's why I thought I'd plant these today. And in about 2 weeks, we'll be able to put them out in the garden. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you learned something that you didn't know. Give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. Have a great day.